a lot of talk about Deshaun.
Right.
So I went back to look at Deshaun's situation and make sure that I at least had an understanding of what happened with Deshaun. So this is a timeline of his legal scenario. And we're going back to March 16th, 2021. Busby is the attorney for the complainants. And he announces in March of 2021 that he's going to file suit against Watson. He says in an Instagram post, he's filing suit against Watson for alleged misconduct against women, but offered minimal details at the time. The next day, they filed 2 cases, okay, in Harris County District Court. At that point, the NFL begins to open an investigation into Watson. Busby at that point has filed 7 civil lawsuits against Watson, and Lisa Friel, the NFL special counsel, sent a letter to Busby asking for his client's cooperation in a league investigation. And as they said, unlike law enforcement, NFL does not have subpoena power, so they're trying to get information from the attorney. Now, this attorney was not providing a lot of information. One of the things is that they were filing this and they weren't really naming any names, okay? Watson's lawyer accuses the women of attempting to blackmail him in March. And then the suit alleges Watson was deleting Instagram messages, but they said they didn't see that. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah,
By the 31st, 18 massage therapists stepped up to defend Watson. Not something that you hear a lot about in the conversations.
Right.
They said that the office released statements from 18 massage therapists who say the accusations are inconsistent with their experiences. He said his office received dozens of unsolicited phone calls, letters, emails, and texts from professional massage therapists who work with Watson, saying they never felt uncomfortable. So these were voluntary statements that were put out in support of Deshaun, and Harden releasing a news release adding that the women have collectively worked with Deshaun more than 130 times over the past 5 years. Okay, so he's getting a lot of massages, no doubt about it.
He's getting a lot of massages from a lot of different massage therapists, which doesn't help. You know what I mean?
Like, well, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Man. So he went under police investigation in April, right? By April 5th, they had filed their 22nd case against him. 2 women went public. Again, they were having a problem with people saying who they were. They didn't want to name themselves in their complaints. But 2 women did decide to do that. Ashley Salas read a prepared statement, and Laura Baxley wrote a letter. So that was read by the attorney Cornelia Branfield. So that's April. April 7th, Watson loses multiple endorsement deals, so he began to lose some money there. I won't go too deep into that. I want to kind of get a timeline as to what he was doing. As you can see, his lawyer began to file motions requesting that the plaintiffs identify themselves. So that was the thing that they were saying. Because plaintiff counsel filed the actions anonymously, Mr. Watson's counsel can only speculate about the plaintiff's identity. So he doesn't even know who is complaining about him at this particular point. They had a ruling that the plaintiffs had to identify themselves and refile the cases. 20 women did that. Plaintiff identifies herself, bringing the total to 22 in April. Things are moving fast. That was just March and April, okay? So we're going through April. Roger Goodell finally spoke out. We take this very seriously. He said those who are, they are concerning, is what he basically said. So he didn't say a whole bunch, but he did make a statement. There are important steps that we'll be taking as part of our personal conduct policy. Let's see. So the attorney for Texas owner Cal McNair tried to mediate this thing. That didn't work. Sports Illustrated reported on it with the Texans confirming it. So that didn't work, bottom line. Number of women to file police complaints against Watson was 10. So 10 women filed complete police complaints.
This is in July
of 2021. Yeah. So the NFL said no restrictions. They interviewed the 10 plaintiffs who were accusing Watson. Let's see what happened. Watson has met with the FBI, but not the NFL in August of 2021. Trade discussions were serious, but the deal was not imminent as of October. The Panthers, as of October, entered the trade talks. So trade talks started to go on even at that particular point for the Panthers. Roger Goodell said the league was still determining if he should go on the exempt list. Then they had the decision that in March of 2022 that the grand jury, March 8th, would meet on March 11th, and they decided that he would not face criminal charges on those allegations. So you had women who made criminal charges, and they were all thrown out. It said the active civil suits alleged that he forced 2 women to perform oral sex, ejaculated on 3 women in front of 3 others, groped 4 women, and kissed another woman unprompted upon arrival for a massage appointment. 18 of the women's suits accused him of inappropriately touching women with his penis during massage therapy sessions. At that point, the Texans trade Watson to the Browns. It's been said that the Browns never talked to any of the ladies' attorneys or to the ladies themselves. The Browns did put out a statement on Twitter. I'm bringing up the statement. They're saying they spent a tremendous amount of time exploring and investigating the opportunity to trade for Deshaun Watson. They're aware and empathetic to the highly personal sentiments expressed about this decision. I'm not going to read the whole thing. You can go to Ben and Barry on football. I wanted to go over this, Ben, because I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm Deshaun Watson, young, good-looking, multi-millionaire football star, and I want to meet women. And all of a sudden, I find out that I can get massages. And sounds like a good way to meet women.
You realize he's been doing this probably since he was way in college.
Maybe so. But now you're a professional, and it's really apparently working for you to some degree. And I don't want to minimize what he did, but I'm just wondering, is this just a young boy who found a way to meet girls and got a little carried away with it?
Found a way to meet. All he has to do is go outside of his house, he can meet girls.
Well, but you know, it's one thing to meet a girl outside your house. It's another thing to connect with somebody on Facebook who's a professional. You know what they look like. You got a little bit.
He's not trying to meet girls, man. He's trying to just get cheap thrills. This goes under this heading of cheap thrills.
Cheap thrills.
Right.
Well,
The dude has 100 different massage therapists. You mean he couldn't find 2 that were willing to do what he wanted and just kept them? Yeah. He likes the thrill of talking them into or coercing them into doing things to him that he likes. I don't think, to me, that's not a crime because you can ask, but they can say no. The ones that say that he forced them to do stuff, that's different. You know?
But apparently on a criminal basis, they said that they didn't find that.
Right. He didn't commit a crime.
Yeah, they didn't say. And when I say meet women, you're saying cheap thrills. Yeah, my thing is that's why you're meeting women. You want the cheap thrills.
To get the
I was
cheap
just
thrills.
saying meeting women, but the bottom line is, you know, it's a play. It's like that.
Yeah,
game. He had
kind of. But the term meet women to me means to me, I really want to meet you and maybe get to know you and see if you fit in to my life some kind of way. Yes, no, maybe. It's like a dating site. But instead of using a dating site, he called professional masseuses, if that's the proper plural. You know what I mean? For masseuse, and had them come over, and he got the very nice feel. I've had great massages. It makes you feel really good. And then he's attempted to get some of them to do a little extra. Some of them probably said no and left. Some of them said okay and did what he wanted. Some of them were like, I don't know. And he's like, how about this? And they're like, I don't know. You know, he's probably gotten a 1,000 different reactions. But that's something he likes.
And as we said, he could have got those massages right back there at Texas Stadium at the training center.
Right.
You know, if you needed therapeutics, you know,
right
there.
That wasn't what he wanted.
But again,
he likes to try to get the extra. It's almost like a fetish.
But we know, look what happened with the Patriots owner, got caught up down in a massage parlor.
Sure.
So we kind of know what happened.
Right. And you say, this guy's got all this money. Why is he at this massage parlor in this dingy strip mall? Who knows what makes people do the things they do? So, you know, but again, if he didn't commit a crime, he's gotten past that. So he hasn't committed a crime. However, if he somewhat abused, embarrassed, or shamed these girls or these women and made them feel some kind of way where they feel like they're justified in asking for something in return for what he put them through, then he's gonna have to pay. And how the NFL looks at it, let's remember when you were doing the timeline, the NFL started their investigation way back in March of 2021. So they got a lot of information. So they're just sitting back waiting until the criminal justice system gets finished with him. And then they're going to decide what they're going to do.
Well, until the civil justice system.
I'm sorry.
And I always remind people, for criminal, it's beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right.
For civil, it's the preponderance of evidence.
Right.
So this is going to be very interesting. But again, I don't think he's really a dangerous character.
No.
I think he got a bit carried away with what he was doing there. And you know.
And it only takes like one or two to say something. And then you're going to have some that felt some kind of way, but we're going to keep quiet, but now they feel emboldened. And you're going to have some that weren't planning on ever saying anything, but they just want to jump on the bandwagon. You know, it's a mess. It's a mess.
Yeah. He needed some mentorship on this. He needed an OG who would teach him some game. It's amazing. Really? He got all his money to have no game.
Yeah, isn't that something? Come on, bro.
All right.